Hi, welcome to another Corporate Pansula video. My name is Lungelo Kuzoyo and I'm a trainee accountant based in Sentin. In this video, I want to talk about UNISA. A lot of you might be going to CTA next year, but some of you might be considering the decision of doing it at another institution. I just want to share if you're considering doing it at UNISA, if that's something that is on the table. Even if you haven't thought about it, yes, I hope that this video will make you at least consider it. And the people who are considering it, I just want to share my experience so that they can sit back and think, oh, maybe I shouldn't go to UNISA. Because I did my CTA at UNISA and I want to just go over some of the things, for example, how to transition from full-time learning to now being at UNISA and doing part-time or long-distance learning, because it's very different, right? The kid I was at Tux is not the same as the person that I became when I was in UNISA. So I just want to talk a little bit about that, and hopefully someone out there will get some value out of this content. Enjoy. So how was my experience at UNISA, and would I recommend UNISA to other people? Now, I'm going to share my own personal experience, and it might or might not work from you, disclaimer there. But I'm going to share my own personal experience because I hope that will allow you to make a much more informed decision. So my experience personally, it was good. And I will tell you why. I went to UNISA, right? And I was coming from Tux, University of Pretoria. And like most people, UNISA has a bad rep out there. When you talk to people, people don't really, I don't know, I don't know why it has like a bad rep, because I went there and when I got there, everything that other people were telling me about UNISA for me simply was not true. One of the things that were true though is that the admin is not the best, right? It's not the most responsive, it's not fast. I think it's because there's just way more people than there are administrators, if I can. Is there such a word? Administrators? It sounds like a word. But I think there's just a lot of people asking questions, sending emails, all these different kind of things, and they cannot respond fast enough. I remember, for example, I literally would not have had a school or a varsity to go to do my CTA if I just did not make that call. Because I sent emails, no reply. I sent emails, no reply. And then I called. Sometimes they don't pick up the phone call, and sometimes they do pick up the phone call, but they were unable to assist me. But eventually, I found someone, and they were able to help me, and my application got processed, and everything was good. And I just had to pay my registration. I was registered; I just needed to pay something like that. My application was approved, something like that. So if I just didn't make those calls, and I was like, okay, let me just trust the system; they know what they're doing, I would not have had a school. I would have been kind of forced to take a gap year because I did not apply to any other university other than UNISA at the time. And the reason that that happened is because it's expensive. Tertiary education is very expensive. And I did not have the funds. I did not have any funds to sponsor me. And my parents definitely would not have been able to afford tax or vets or UJ, because it's not even just that you need to pay for your education. You need to pay for food, you need some clothes or whatever, you need money for your rent. It's so expensive to be a student, and it's very tough because sometimes you even fail. I failed twice in my undergrad, and that took a huge toll on my parents because one of the years they had to pay, I don't know how, I think about 2 of the years that I spent, 2 out of the 5 years in varsity, my parents had to pay for my rent. And that was because when I failed the first time, then I lost my bursary, and then I was able to gather some funds through different things, because I used to be a tutor. I made a lot of money in 2020 due to the stock market because everything went down, and I just basically put as much money as I possibly could into some stocks that were obviously going to go up. I was not a genius. It was so obvious that these stocks were going to go up because we learn accounting. We need to apply it in real life, because you don't just learn bookkeeping there. You learn how to read financial statements. You learn how to value companies. You learn all these different stuff that can make you money if you apply them in real life. You learn about tax, you learn about controls and auditing and all the business cycles and all these different things that we just need to sit down, think about them in a practical sense, and then at least try to apply them to benefit us. Otherwise, what's the point of education? So I saw the stock market was down. I looked into some companies. I looked at TFG, I looked at Investec, I looked at Sasol. I think at some point Sasol was trading below 50 Rand. And I was like, no, these stocks are undervalued. So I made quite some good money off of that. I made money from, I mentioned that I was tutoring. Like we had these workshops, and I would tutor economics because I really loved economics, and I got really, really, really good in economics. And I'm missing something. There's something else that I used to make money from. Can't remember. I'll think about it because I'm a very entrepreneurial person. Because hey guys, it's tough out there. Hey, I think it's because my mom was a seller, so I have those genes. My father is also quite a bit of a risk taker. He was way ahead of his time. That man started trading when nobody knew forex. Oh, anyways, we're here to talk about UNISA. Would I recommend UNISA? Yes, but why would I recommend UNISA is a better question to ask. Well, I would recommend it because it's affordable. So if you do not have fees or if you don't have funds, then UNISA is a good option. And maybe people might not necessarily think it's a good tertiary because the ITC stats, and I get it. But me personally, I didn't even do a board course. I went to UNISA, I did the CTA, and then because UNISA, like I said, the admin is not the best, right? They took a long time before I could get my results, like a really long time. And eventually I did get it. By the time that I get it, I couldn't register for a podcast. It became complicated because also remember the firm that I signed with had to pay for the fees and they were closed and it was just a whole mess. And I was like, I'm not gonna let this stop me. I'm gonna take my CTA materials, my study materials from UNISA, and I'm going to continue studying those things for my ITC. And if I remember correctly, I even started before I even received my results. I I'm an optimistic person. So I started studying for ITC before I even received my CTA results. The CTA results came out and they confirmed what I suspected all along, that I passed. And thank God that I did pass and all that studying had not gone to waste. And in January, I got there and I passed that thing first time. I passed it first time because a lot of people think, there are people who even criticize UNISA and say, hey, it's gonna be very tough passing your ITC if you pursue it through UNISA. Some of those people, I left them back there in those expensive universities. They're still studying today. I already have a job. I recently got an apartment. Things are good. I went to UNISA. I wrote my board exam. I passed it first time. They're still in CTA. No hate. It's just what happened. So don't judge a book by its cover. And also, there are certain things that maybe you just need to try out for yourself and think for yourself. Because also, I understand the pressure if you are in VITS or you are in tax or whatever, and people are like, yeah, we need to come back to tax. Guys, not every one of you, like, this is the harsh truth. You can whatever, right? But this is the harsh truth. Not all of you will go back to tax. Some of you will not be able to afford it. Some of you will not get the marks to get back into tax. We all come from different backgrounds. We all have different capabilities. Not every single person will go back to tax. Don't feel peer pressured and feel like an outcast. No, 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 no. Be a maverick. Think for yourself. Think, what is the best decision I have to make? Think for yourself. I understand why people have herd mentality. It's completely normal. That's how we evolved. That's how we survived as a species. It's very, very, very tough to break out of that mentality when most people are thinking in this way, and you're like, I'm not gonna confirm. Let me think for myself. What's the best thing that I can do for myself right now, given what I have, given where I am? And if it makes sense for you to go to UNISA, then go to UNISA. You need to make the decision for yourself by yourself. Don't make any decision because we like to think, we old, peer pressure will never get. Hey, peer pressure gets everyone. It doesn't have an age limit, papa. It does not care. I've seen a lot of people make the mistake of even repeating their third year just so that they can get into tax. And guess what? They got worse results than when they did the third year the first time. It's unbelievable, right? They were like, no, 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 no. UNISA would have taken them or other universities, but they were like, I want to go to tax so bad because my friends are there, all these different kind of stuff. And they're doing things for other people, not themselves, other people. And they go there, repeat their third year, although they passed, and they get lesser marks than when they did it the first time. And now you just wasted a year, right? So not every single person is going to go back to tax. Keep moving forward. Right now, if you're genuinely obsessed with whatever institution you are in and you want to even repeat, that's fine. That's your decision to make. I did not make that decision. I decided, you know what? I don't have the funds, and I am definitely not gonna spend another year just so that I can go back into that university. You might make the decision because if I go back to this university, then the chances of me passing ITC are a lot higher or whatever, and that's fine. But I went to UNISA, I passed it first time, and I'm earning the exact same salary as a person who comes from UCT or comes from UP because we both wrote the same ITC and we both passed. It doesn't matter whether you come from UNISA, you come from UJ, you come from it didn't matter. We are at E. Well, I don't even want to say who my employer is because I don't want to. I don't know, right? Yeah. Anything I say in my videos has nothing to do with my employer, because people move funny. Some people will just find like a little clip that they disagree with, or maybe I say something or take it out of context and try to go get me fired or whatever. People are funny. Nothing I say in any of my videos are reflective of my employer and stuff. I don't know what the actual legal disclaimer is. I'm just sharing my experience. We are all at the same audit firm and we are earning the same salary, and it did not matter which university we came from. That was my experience. So that's just something to consider. And a question that I get often is, how do you transition from part-time studying, sorry, from full-time studying to now being a long distance learner? And this is what I need you to think about now. Don't think about your friends that are going back to this university and I'm the only. No, 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 no. This is what I think is actually relevant to the decision making. I'm not saying it's irrelevant to think about your friends. If that's something that is important to you that you wanna, then that's fine. But for me, this was the relevant thing. Will I be able to cope with long distance learning? And I thought about it a lot and I thought, yeah, I would be. So for me, self studying, it works. The problem is it requires a lot of discipline. Like there's nobody saying going to class, there's nobody saying going to tutors. It's completely up to you. You literally need to be like a businessman. Business, it's tough being an entrepreneur because you literally need to set your own hours. And if you're not productive, right? Nobody's gonna fire you. You just won't make any money. Nobody's gonna come and say, "Hey, you're not working." No, 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 no. Your business will just flop. You need to wake up every single day and decide. There is no schedule already made for you. They can give you suggestions at UNISA and say, "We recommend that you cover these topics within this time," but it's completely up to you, right? So discipline, if you know that you really need some help, right? You need somebody to push you or somebody to guide you, and there's nothing wrong with it. There are leaders and there are followers, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a follower. There are parts of my life where I'm just a follower. I rely on my girlfriend or I rely on my friend to make certain decisions. And there are certain parts of my life where I'm like, I need to be a leader here because I know what's best for me here. I really know. And education was one of those things. I decided, actually, I know that I will be able to wake myself up, go study for about 8 hours, and have a social life or whatever. I didn't really have a social life in CTA. If you have one and you pass, wow, you are amazing. All I did was go to the gym and study. Go to the gym and study. Every now and then I'd hang out with some friends, but not very often. And that was the sacrifice that I had to make in order to realize my dreams of getting my CTA. And it worked out, right? And it's very tough if you won't be able to push yourself, especially on the days that you do not feel like it. Not the days that you are fatigued, because I recommend that you rest when you're fatigued, but on the days that you just don't feel like that. Because the thing about motivation is that people think, motivation will come and then I go start doing the thing. No, do the thing, motivation will find you. Because most of the time when it comes to studying, starting is the hard part. Once you get flowing, usually then you start even enjoying the module, right? And you become curious and you ask yourself questions and you reflect and you make mistakes and you work on them, and inspiration will find you while you're doing the thing. So discipline is a big one if you want to consider long distance learning. So that's the difficult thing. That's the differentiator, in my opinion, between the people who are able to pass the long distance learning versus people who are not able to pass. So I was able to transition comfortably because I really took my CTA seriously, and everybody knew it, right? Because you're not in rest. You need to communicate with your family that, hey, this is what I am doing, and this is very important. If you need me to do something in the house, whether it's chores and whatnot, we need to have a proper plan, and then I need to sit down and think about how I can factor it into my schedule. Because once I pass, I will be able to make some money and help you out here at home, right? Because we all come from different backgrounds, different things. It's very important that you set your boundaries, as hard as it may be, and you are capable of saying no. That is very important, especially if you're going to be doing distance learning. Because your friends might come up and say, hey, let's go. Like, no, I'm busy. I'll see you next year. I'll see you in December. I'll see you when my marks are out. I can't see you. I'm sorry. I have a personal thing that I'm dealing with here. I'll talk to you later. It's fine if you want to cut me off. It's fine, right? Right now, the most important thing in my life is this degree. And I'm gonna sacrifice for it. I'm not saying go out there and make some enemies, but take it seriously, is all I'm trying to say. That's how you transition from part time to long distance learning. Now, one of the things that you need to start thinking about if you decide to go to UNISA is like, how do you study? And UNISA gives you material. The material is good. It's good. Take the material. I used it. I have some friends who are so skeptical of using UNISA material that they ended up trying to study topics using tax materials. And there's nothing wrong. Whatever stuff that you want to use to study and whatnot. Some of my friends did not trust it. Some of my friends did not do well. Some of them tried to blend both. They almost try to fact check if what they're teaching me at UNISA is it the same as what they're teaching me or what they're teaching them at a different institution. I don't know why. I think it's paranoia. I can almost guarantee you that because UNISA is aligned with SAICA, right? They would not teach you something that SAICA does not want in their ITC or their IAC now. They are aligned. They communicate. They teach you things that are so. I would not recommend trying to blend or take your UNISA material and study it. If you apply yourself, if you put in the work, if you put in the hours, I promise you, I promise. Hey, don't take me to court if you don't pass though, yo. But if you put in the work, you will go to ITC or ITAC and you will pass. You will not have any problems. I did not struggle personally. I walked in there, I saw the questions, I had perfected my exam technique, I had studied the topics that I could. I didn't study all of them as much as I would have liked to, but I did every single thing that I possibly could have done in that exam. And all that knowledge was from UNISA because I did not take any board course. I did not do Endunamu. I did not do any board course. I just walked in there with my CTA knowledge and I took that board exam and I passed first time. So, how to study? Take your UNISA materials, work out a schedule because you need a routine. It is very important. You can fact check me on this. A lot of psychologists will tell you the same. Routines are important. Have a routine, use Google Maps, use something so that you know that this is what I do at this time and try to do those things at the same time. Try to have a proper waking up schedule because that's also very important. Something about the hormones, I don't know. I did not major in psychology. I'm an accountant, but is there something good about waking up at the same time every day and doing certain things at the same time every day? Like just have some sort of like a routine, even if you don't do it at the exact same time every day, but it should be somewhat similar. You know that you study between these times, you socialize during these times, or you play video games, or you go to the gym or whatever. But just try to have a schedule and not just a schedule. Try to fill in that schedule with exactly what it is that you are going to do. You need to be intentional. Nobody is telling you need to be intentional. If you look at the first test, UNISA is setting that, okay, we're going to be tested on these topics. Okay, now I need to look at my calendar on when am I going to study these things, at what time to what time, and then leave some space for in case you did not cover enough or the topic turned out to be difficult and you need to spend more time on it. Leave that breathing room. Don't make like a tight, rigid schedule because you know what they say about a very straight ruler. You bend it a little and it breaks. You need to be flexible, but you shouldn't be so flexible that it's chaos and there's no order. You just need to be smooth, you know? So if you struggle with that, there are some apps that I would recommend. I'm going to show the icon of the app here on the screen, somewhere here or here. But one of the apps that I use that I definitely recommend, it's Focus To Do. And it was an incredible app because I was able to track exactly how much time did I spend studying a module. And if I notice that I'm spending too much time studying finance because I love finance, then I'm like, hey, I need to start polishing up my text because I might be lacking. And also, not just that it gives you, and it's color coded and it's everything and it gives you graphs, but you are also now able to become more competitive with yourself. And I'm a competitive person and I'm studying. And this week I put in like 50 hours of studying. Let me try and beat that. Let me try and put in 60 productive hours. Let me see how far I can take it. Right? Let me just see. Let me just stretch myself. It was fun. It turns into like some kind of like a game that I'm playing with myself of trying to improve myself. And then you can even turn it into a game, which is even better. It's like, let me see if I can accomplish what I accomplished last week in lesser time. Let me try to master more topics in lesser time. Let me try to be as effective as I possibly can. Let the output per hour of study be, you know, like it became fun for me, right? I played around with this app a lot and I recommended it to a lot of people. And you can even create groups with people and you guys join this productivity app, and then you can see how much other people have studied. Remember, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. But if you have quality and quantity, yeah, you are gonna be powerful. Another app that other people have used is Forest. Some people use those apps, but just look into apps. And if you have a bit of money and you like the app, then consider paying for the subscription or the premium. I don't know what it is about my people, but I don't know. You don't want to spend money on apps, not because of you don't have money. I've met a lot of people who do have 100 rand to just spend on the app, but just because I don't know what it is. There's nothing wrong with spending money on an app. If you use an app and you actually get some value out of it, just go pay for the subscription. Or I bought the full time subscription, so it never expires. I think it was 300 rand. I don't know how much it is now, and I could use it forever. So if it's something that is worth it to you and you have the money, you don't put a strain on you, just pay the money and use the app and get all the perks and the benefits and enjoy it. It helped me a lot with my studying. It helped me remain disciplined. It helped me push. It motivated me. And it's something that I would definitely recommend. But use the app first, see if you like it before you go for the paid version, because you shouldn't waste money like that, right? So try out different apps, try out different study techniques. I was a huge believer of Pomodoro techniques, and the idea is that you study for 25 minutes or 50 minutes at a time. Because what happens is there's a whole lecture about it on YouTube. But if you try to study something like over, and this is not for everyone, we're all different, but your focus or your attention or your concentration tends to dip the longer you study something. But if you study it, right, just before your attention is about to dip, you stop, take a break for 5 minutes. Don't scroll on your social media. I highly, highly do not recommend that, because you're just cluttering your mind with irrelevant information. Go outside, walk, stretch, meditate. Just take that 5 minutes, do something that's not gonna fill your head with random information about Gabzadi small cheating on Mang Mang. Leave those things. Do them later, maybe in the afternoon or in the evening when you're done studying and not. Don't fill your head with nonsense. But study 25 minutes just before you're about to lose your focus. Take a break for 5 minutes. Start again. You start fresh. 25 minutes just before, and the thing is, you can make it 50 minutes and 10 minutes. You can study 50 minutes and then stop. Take a break for 10 minutes. You will be in awe. You will go through 4 hours and you won't even realize it. You'll be like, damn, I studied 4 hours already. I didn't even feel it, because you were not studying for like one continuous 4 hours. The objective here is to be as productive as you possibly can in each batch of studying, whether it's 50 minutes or 25 minutes. It's called the Pomodoro Technique. I recommend it. It's pretty good. That's how I studied for my CTA when I was at UNISA. Now, another question that sometimes I get is, how do you get into UNISA? I actually don't know. I just applied. I went online, I applied, and I submitted all the documents that they want, and I called them. Call them. Call them. If they haven't gotten back to you with your application, you need to know whether you are rejected. Until you get that rejection letter, and this is a philosophy that I try to apply in my life. Never ever reject yourself. Rather someone else rejects you, rather somebody else close the door on you. Don't close doors on yourself, because there are certain opportunities that if we had just took a leap of faith, if we just made that phone call, if I just spoke to that one person, if I just did this, then it would have worked out. So call them, right? I don't like phone calls. You might be like me, so you're gonna be a bit hesitant, like, let me just leave it. No, don't leave them, right? Send your application and then start calling them. Find out what's happening. Am I approved? Am I accepted? Whatever. If they don't pick up, call another time. I remember I even had a time. I think it was between 1 and 3. I'm not sure, but in the mornings they would not take my calls. But between 1 and 3, I'd find someone, and I was there, and I'd be very, very polite. Be very polite. Be very humble, right? Be very humble, especially because you might be talking to an older person, right? Respect people, even if it's on the internet. Respect people, guys. I see some weird comments out there. Like, people will be saying, yo, this, people will be commenting that's stupid or that's dumb. And I'm looking at the person that they're commenting on, and it's an old person. I'm like, yo, Aibo. That's not how I was personally raised. I was raised to respect people. I should respect everyone, but most religions, most cultures, there's greater deference that is placed on older people. That's just how I was raised. Like, I respect everyone, but I just respect older people more, because they have experience, they have wisdom, they've lived longer, and they're my elders. That's just how I was raised. But yeah, make that call, and hopefully they will pick up. And if they haven't accepted you, then they will pick up and they will be like, oh yeah, I see your application. Sorry about the delay, and then they will be able to assist you. Another thing that I would recommend if you're going to start doing some long distance learning is to consider turning your algorithms into, I don't want to use the word motivational, but into a different kind of stimulation. So you shouldn't be stimulated by nonsense and things that are not give, impact, like anything that's not contributing to your life. I remember my YouTube algorithm was filled with study vlogs and study time lapses and all these different kind of stuff. And sometimes when I would watch somebody do like those cute time lapse and vlogs of them studying, because it's going in fast paced and this person is studying and it's being productive, it kind of primed my mind. I'll start feeling like, I feel like studying now. Like I see them. I even remember I started drinking iced coffee. I don't like iced coffee, but I'd see them drink iced coffee to get some caffeine and some energy. And I started making some iced coffee, trying to emulate these people. And for me, it worked for me. It's something that I would recommend. Like, just try it out. Fill your Pinterest. I also remember whenever I would scroll through Pinterest, there'd be so many productive things and things that I liked, and they would make me more focused because I'm constantly, my feeds everywhere are constantly reminding me of the thing that I'm working towards. So try to use your social media to your advantage, because it really, really, really does not help me. Uguti Casper cheated on. Um, I can't even remember the story. Something about he cheated on her while she was pregnant. Hey, there's a lot going on with celebrities. It does not help me with anything. It really doesn't. It said, I am sorry, but me right now, I need to get CTA, and this information is irrelevant. So I highly, highly recommend that you fill your social media with things that are going to make it more conducive for you to study, things that are going to motivate you or make you feel inspired, whether it's spiritual Bible verses, whatever it is. Just like fill your social, because your mind will always be in that state of like, studying time. It won't be even that hard to start. If you struggle with starting, like I did, right, it won't be that hard, because the people you talk to, even the people you talk to, you need to start filtering them. I place more preference to my UNISA friends because we are doing this thing together, not the one who's gonna call me on a Friday night and say social body biada. Then I can't study on Saturday and Sunday in Petite Papalas. No. I would rather prioritize the friends who are pursuing the thing that I am pursuing, because the other ones I did not see what value they're adding in my life. And I'm not saying you should go out there and people should either add value to my life or they're not my friends. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying CTA is a very important hurdle that you're gonna need to jump, and your ITC, and it will help you a lot if you place priority on it, right? And if people genuinely love you, then they will support you. They won't cut you off. Take all the information that I shared in this video and try to make a decision for yourself. I hope it helps you. And for the life of me, I beg you, make a decision that is best for you. Don't think about your friends. Don't think about, what people are going to say. I'm now at UNISA or whatever. UNISA is fine. It's fine. It worked out very well for me, and I'm a proud UNISA. I am glad I had that experience, right? But there are people who work a lot better when they are being pushed, right? It's like the thing that I say in Guti. Some people are leaders, some people are followers. There's nothing wrong with both, right? There are some aspects of my life where I am just a follower. There are certain things that I just like the decision making that I'll just delegate to my girlfriend. I don't even, because I know she will make the best decision for me. And there are certain things where I feel like, no, I this is what I want with my life. This is the decision that I'm gonna make for myself, by myself. And those are the situations where I'll be a leader. So make the decision that is best for you. If you listen to this and you feel like, I don't think I want to go to UNISA, maybe because of the admin is not the best, or because you won't be able to study, or because you won't be able to have like that lecturer face to face experience, then it might not be for you. But if you can do learning online, because they do have some workshops and some tutorials that they share, and there's a lot of support that you get, then maybe consider it. Anyways, it's been the Corporate Bansula. Thanks for watching. Peace.